DdG SHOWtime versus DdG Energized for the first ever DdG Civil War in an HW League final. Got the Empire versus the Greenskins and round one. Oops. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and take a look at what is on the field of battle. Starting with the Greenskins. For their infantry, you got goblins, orc boys, 2 black orcs, the 8-peak loonies, as well as some generic goblins. We're also going to see 3 forest goblin spider riders, along with 3 orc boar boy biggins, one of which will be the broken tusk mob regiment for now with that extra armor. Other than that, we'll have forest goblin spider rider archers and Mogrim's Magi marauders for that armor piercing skirmish power. For the rest of the forces here, we've got ourselves a Goblin Great Shaman. Going to be on top of an Arachnarok Spider. Going to be bringing, don't even try it, the Crown of Command, Arcane Conduit, Night Shroud, Vindictive Glare, and, what is this? Sneaky Stabbin'. Got that Sneaky Still in too, just to sap the winds of magic from the enemy. Now, over on the Empire side of the battlefield, also going to have a pretty big army. Going to be within 40 models of each other, so literally a very evenly matched in terms of troops on the ground. For the Empire front line, we're going to see 4 swordsmen. We're also going to see spearmen. Looks like we have 3 of them. On the right flank, we're going to have our skirmish cav, and what appears to be the bulk of the army, so we got pistoliers. Backed up by a single grenade launcher outrider. He's going to have Empire Knights on the right flank, and then we're also going to have 2 Empire Knights on the left flank. In the center, we're going to have a single unit of Reiksguard, so even heavy cav, a wonderful charge bonus. Got a Jade Wizard on top of a horse, Regrowth Earthblood, and the Power Stone, and up in the air, I imagine to accompany his personal Reiksguard to the field of battle, we have Karl Franz himself, the Emperor of Man. Going to have Galmaraz, the Reichland Runefang. He's also going to be bringing Standard Ground, Hold the Line, and Blood War because of his mount, Deathclaw. Now, that rounds out both forces, and the battle has begun, so let's see how it all breaks down from here. Coincidentally, it does look like both players have their strong flanks facing each other. The Greenskin strong flank will be the left, and the Empire strong flank will be the right. But both leaders also going to be deployed in the middle. So this is going to be a big battle, a lot to micromanage for both of these players, and just so many units on the field right now across such a large swath of the battlefield that I am very curious to see how this works out. Karl Franz getting attacked by Mogrim's Magi Marauders and the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. So far he's not taking too much damage, and he does have the ability to heal, so we'll see how he does. Reiksguard coming out for a big charge into the Black Orcs, but they're going to abandon it at the last second as the Goblin Great Shaman comes out. Meanwhile, the Empire Knights doing much better on their charges, hitting the Night Goblins and the Goblins respectively, and doing some good damage, coming out relatively unscathed. Over here, Karl Franz taking perhaps a bit more damage than he really needs to right now. Outriders getting charged by the Broken Tusk mob, but they're going to be turning around just in the nick of time and should be able to come out of that relatively healthy, although they are taking some damage from the counter skirmish fire that the Greenskins have brought. Pistoliers now actually getting hit in the back as they stop running, and Broken Tusk mob going to get a lot of value there, but in come the Empire Knights and some Empire Swordsmen trying to block their approach and even up some of the trade damage there. Empire Swordsman taking a charge and then immediately turning around and running away. Not sure if that was a misclick or not, but it looks like they will pay the price for it. Goblin Great Shaman and the Black Orcs holding down the center, while the Empire, with the help of Karl Franz, it would seem, is coming over to try and wrap up some of these Orc Boar Boy Biggins who have just charged into the Empire Knights. A rear charge from Karl Franz into Orc Boar Boy Biggins is no small matter, and I imagine they may be terror routing here quickly, but the Wah coming in, going to give them that immune to psychology. Looks like the center has basically been abandoned. No problem there, considering the Swordsmen have no chance against the Black Orcs or the Goblin Great Shaman. On the right flank, you can see that it looks like the Greenskins are coming out on top, though. Have the Swordsmen and the Spearmen of Showtime trying to push forward, but Energized not going to even bother engaging them with his cavalry or anything like that, just pulling them away. And at the moment, it just looks like the Greenskins have a very strong numerical superiority when it comes to the infantry. But Empire has a healthy supply of cavalry, and we'll see if they're going to be able to charge these Greenskins down out of existence. Over here, we're going to see the Black Orc still supporting the Goblin Great Shaman. Karl Franz is going to dive in to combat with the Goblin Great Shaman. But with the Black Orc supporting, maybe a bit of a risky move. Forest Goblin Spider Riders charging into combat, but getting countercharged by Empire Knights, who are going to have a good time in combat against them. And now we have Empire Knights diving into the back of these Black Orcs. And so if Karl Franz can continue to act as the anvil for the Empire Cavalry to cycle charge off of, then maybe they can bring their way back into this game. Right now, I'm looking for the Jade Wizard. I haven't seen him for a while, and I'm wondering if it got sniped off. Aha! There he is. Close to sniped off, but not dead yet. And this Jade Wizard may want to, like, hide. If they just hide, maybe hope the Greenskins forget about him, because one of these Forest Goblin Spider Riders or Wolf Rider Archers or anybody goes after that discovered Jade Wizard, it's going to be a huge loss, as Karl Franz obviously wants as much healing as possible. Karl Franz, speaking of the devil himself, is going to burst forth from the trees into the Broken Tusk Mob. Empire Knights supporting him, and boom, there they go, knocking out a very important unit for the Greenskins. And, you know, we'll see what happens. The Black Orcs are, I think, going to be the most concerning part of this Greenskin force right now. Not to mention the Goblin Great Shaman. It's just like with two Black Orcs that are nearly full health, you still have an Orc Boar Boy Biggin back here. It just seems like the Empire's going to have a really tough time flying it back, and keep in mind, they still have to deal with a big old monster too. But right now, the Cav Micro on displays from Showtime is definitely impressive. And with good Cav Micro, many things are possible, but this could be a huge loss. Look at the sandwich going into play. You have the Orc Boar Boy Biggins on one side, the Black Orcs on the other, and right in the middle you have Reiksguard and Empire Knights. And this is going to be a potentially game-losing play here. Or game-winning play from the Greenskins' perspective, capturing these knights and sandwiching in between Black Orcs, Orc Boar Boy Biggins, and you have the Forest Goblin Spider Riders in there to cause poison, just the icing on the cake. And balance of power is really going to start swinging away from the Empire now. Jade Wizard is hidden, but now going to be running away. It looks like the Goblin Great Shaman may have been coming for him. And Vindictive Glare going to get targeted immediately as soon as he sees that Jade Wizard. Vindictive Glare going to go down, and bada bing, bada boom, there's a dead Jade Wizard. Some very good prioritization from Energized here. The Greenskin player right now just really using this army wonderfully. And I have to say, I just love the balance and the mixture of units, and going heavy on the Orc Boar Boy Biggins has really paid off for him. And he's lost 2 of the units. The Empire player has done a great job using Empire Knights that would normally lose handedly against Orc Boar Boy Biggins, but with Karl Franz supporting, anything is possible. Karl Franz going to terror out these guys, and now it looks like he's going to try to use the Swordsman as his meat cushion to block the Broken Tusk Mob. Broken Tusk Mob still going after Karl Franz hardcore, but he is getting up in the air. Oh, grenade launchers are back online. And Karl Franz, you know, we'll see what he can do. We have 2 Empire Knights over here that have about quarter health, with some Spearmen supporting them. Back here, you have the grenade launchers coming back online. It looks like the Greenskins don't have any ammunition left to reply, besides, you know, obviously the little range units on top of the Goblin Great Shamans and Ragnarok Spiders back. But grenade launchers may be quite powerful at this stage in the game. Karl Franz, if he can get a good engagement against the Orc Boy Biggins, you know, he can get some crazy good things done here. You know, look at this. This might be that opportunity for the Orc Boy Biggins. Some of the formation got caught up on top of the Spearmen. Karl Franz dove into the back of them. And now these units are kind of like split in half right now. And it could be a wonderful opportunity for Karl Franz to take care of them. But these grenade launchers need to keep running away, get out of combat, and then turn around so they can help deal with the infantry. Karl Franz staying in combat for now, doing a lot of damage to the Orc Boy Biggins. But at this point, it looks like he's going to abandon the fight, and I think that's a wise decision. But I'm wondering if he's going to be able to get out of here. We have the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. It looks like he's charging them. Nice choice to try to, you know, get his speed up and his leadership up from the charge bonus and run away from that engagement. And if he gets up in the air now and regroups with his cavalry, you know, maybe he can get something going. But he's really got to act sooner rather than later. Orc Boy Biggins coming in on top of him once again. And the Goblin Great Shaman and Black Orcs are in pursuit. Empire Knights trying to get regrouped with their leader. Black Orcs and the Goblin Great Shaman look like they're trying to come out to intercept these guys, but now Empire Knights are going to take a head-to-head charge with the Orc Boy Biggins. Sneaky stabbing popped on top of them. And then you have Black Orcs and the Goblin Great Shaman supporting. And this is the make or break moment, and I just don't think Karl Franz will be able to dish out enough damage quickly enough in order to defeat the Greenskins. So we're going to see a concession from DdG Showtime as his clanmate Energized wins the first game in this best-of-5 final. Would you look at this? We're going to have a matchup between the Beastmen of Showtime and the Vampire Coast of Energized. This is a matchup I think is deceptively even, but no, Vampire Coast favored for sure. But I think if a Vampire Coast player underestimates the Beastmen, they could be in for a rude awakening. Beastmen, they have some tools, and I guess, you know, instead of talking and trying to predict it, let's go ahead and see what our Beastmen player Showtime has brought to the field. Now, we're going to be looking at an infantry corps with 3 Ungor herd. We're going to have 2 Ungor herd, or Ungor spearman herd with shields. We're going to have 3 units of Gore herd with shields. So a lot of infantry to eliminate zombie chaff. We're going to have 5 Ungor raiders. I absolutely love this. These guys with their stock ability, going to be able to approach safely and not get shot down by artillery. For the Beastmen, we're going to be seeing Harpies. We got 2 Gore Bulls, something you don't see too often, but I'm happy to see here. Both of them are going to have Slaughter's Call, or no, sorry, Blood Greed. And then we're going to see the Banner of Fallen Kings as well. So as long as their HP is below 50%, they do more damage. Now, other than that, we're going to see a second unit of Harpies over here on the other corner, looking like they're both trying to catch vanguarded units. I like that play. We have the Butchers of Kalkengard here. Regiment Renowned Minotaurs with shields. They cause terror, and they have regeneration to their health. Where's the leader of this army? And I think we're going to know who it is. It's Malagor, the Dark Omen. If you see 2 Gore Bulls, you usually see Malagor. Otherwise, the player did not bring magic, and that would be a weird thing to do. But Malagor, the Dark Omen here, is going to be bringing Arcane Conduit, Savage Dominion, Vile Tide for that magic attack damage, Icons of Vilification, which gives 12 leadership bonus to all allies within range, and then we have Bestial Surge to regenerate the Vigor and give a charge bonus to all allies map-wide. So, other than the Beastmen, let's go check out the other army. Karma, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. But enough of that. Here we have the Vampire Coast. Going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 units of Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob. Going to have 3 Deckhand Mob with pole arms back here for that anti-large infantry. We're going to have a single bomber in the center to blow up some Beastmen units. He's also going to be bringing what appears to be a single Siren, along with a vampire fleet captain with the lore vampire. It's going to be on foot. Looks like we're going to have the Drowned Dead invocation from the Heck, Power Stone, and Taunt. We're going to have a single Carronade. And then we have one Rotting Leviathan. Make it 2. And our Lord, who oh, duh. They flew past us earlier in the game. The Lord is going to be Luther Harkin. Riding his Deathshriek Terrorgeist. Going to be flying over here, harassing and scouting against the Beastmen. May want to be careful, as there are 2 Harpies on the field of battle, and 2 Harpies can pose a problem for even Luther Harkin if he's stuck in the air by himself. Does look like he's going to maybe focus on shooting at Malagor the Dark Omen, but the vampires need to be moving forward. Oh no, they have their cannon firing. I forgot about the cannon. So, cannon's going to be focusing on the Harpies at first. I like that choice. Going to want to make sure the Harpies are dealt with sooner rather than later, because they're really the unit here that if Luther Harkin starts having a bad time, gets in a bad engagement, these are the units that will prevent him from recovering from that engagement. They can either pin him on the ground or harass him in the air. So these double Harpies being a very nice pick for this Beastman roster from Showtime. Oh, by the way, Luther Harkin can have Hornswaggle and nothing else. Malagor versus Luther. And my pleasure, Karna. I love hosting them. Luther Harkin going to continue running away from these Harpies. I think at this point it would be a wise decision for the Harpies to just abandon the chase. Or, I don't know. I guess you can just keep the pressure up on him. Keep on doing little chip damage to his back. He's not doing any damage to the Harpies in return. And bombers can't target air units. And I don't know. The Carronade is going to be doing the most damage, but it's not even targeting the Harpies at this point. Alright, Ungor Raiders are gotten in, closed the gap, and all 5 of them look like they may be targeting the gunnery mob with bombs. And it's going to be a very important unit to eliminate, and if they keep the focus fire up, it looks like 3 of the Ungor Raiders are continuing to fire on them, then they should be able to knock them out before they get too much value. Harpies continue to just stay on top of Luther Harkin. Malagor the Dark Omen beginning to come up. Butchers of Kalkengard taking a ton of damage, but they still have all 12 models, and having all 12 models means they will be able to heal back to full 100% health as long as none of those models die. Right now, the Gore Bulls, double Gore Bull, going after the Rotting Leviathan, and Rotting Leviathan really not having a good time here. That's going to suck for it. Over here, Luther Harkin going to cause terror on top of the Harpies, but I think what may have happened, which is even more painful, is that the Harpies were getting shot by their own archers as the Ungor Raiders began to shoot at Luther Harkin. Luther Harkin going in for a charge against Malagor the Dark Omen, but Gore Bulls are nearby, and double Gore Bull going to have a field day against Luther Harkin, and right now Luther Harkin getting filled with arrows. Going to be seeing Gore Bulls hitting him in the back. Will they be able to keep him on the ground, though? There he goes. He got staggered. An invocation from the Heck is in on top of him, and it looks like he's going to be able to take off into the air right there. He just got enough breathing room to where the Gore Bulls couldn't catch him. Butchers of Kalkengard are on top of the Rotting Leviathan, which is winning decisively. Got the Carronade shooting these guys in the back. A Vile Tide going down. Nice damage on top of the Sirens. Malagor using that magic to great effect right now. Right now, Beastmen have the edge in the balance of power. I would like to see them shut down the artillery sooner rather than later. And then, other than that, I think they're doing this very well so far. The archers are all still very healthy. Harpies need to get regrouped and brought back into the fight. Luther Harkin may be in some trouble if he isn't microed out of here soon. Those archers getting a lot of good value on top of them. Carronade continuing to fire away, though, and it's a shame because, like, the Butchers of Kalkengard have pretty much exclusively been killed by that Carronade. And you have Harpies over here that could be brought in and shut down any of these range units that are still putting up a fight. Malagor, Dark Omen looks like he may be diving into combat, then rethinking his decision. Alright, Gorbel looks like it's in combat with the Vampire Fleet Captain with the Lore of Vampires. Like that decision. Other Gorbel needs to get over here and do something. What? The Beastmen have a surprisingly high amount of units just kind of sitting idle throughout the battle. Really want to see them get moving over here. Definitely think the other Gorbel come over support. Just smash this Vampire Fleet Captain as quickly as possible, because this is the linchpin. This is the linchpin in the Vampire Coast Army. You kill that, and then the Beastmen win. Because then you have nothing to heal up these Rotting Leviathans. And so far, I'm pretty confident that all of the Invocation of the Hex, or most of them, have been on top of Luther Harkin. And Luther Harkin is nearing his healing cap, and now both of these Rotting Leviathans' damage is going to be staying on from here. There's nothing they can do to heal themselves back up now. And the Beastmen still have a ton of Ungor Raiders with a lot of ammunition. So even though these guys have crazy good armor, the Ungor Raiders with that much firepower and that much ammunition will be able to wear them down over time. But this is still a close fight. Luther Harkin is alive. If Luther Harkin is alive, that means he still has the potential to go snipe out Malagor the Dark Omen. But the Gorbels are still doing fairly well. Carronades need to get shut down. I would love to see... Oh, looks like these Harpies are coming in to try and shut down the Carronade. It has far too much ammunition to ignore. Luther Harkin still shooting Malagor. Malagor running away from him at the moment. Balance of power starting to get into a dicey place. Over here, looks like... Oh, a breath is going to go down on top of Malagor. Oh, so much damage. Luther Harkin, the Lord of Lord Sniping. I mean, oh, this is a tough one. Vampire Coast is looking really strong. Harpies are diving into the ground to get on top of that Carronade. And it looks like the Beastmen are making a call just to bring everything they got over here. Send the Harpies in for a suicide mission to try to calm the fire from the Carronades. Goreherd with shields coming in here too, so it's not like all these units can abandon the Carronade just yet. And it looks like the Beastmen are going to go all in on eliminating this Rotting Leviathan. Now, both Gorbels look like they're getting into combat now. Malagor the Dark Omen getting attacked and looks like he's going to be killed by Luther Harkin now. But this Rotting Leviathan is starting to take a ton of damage. And Luther Harkin, by being on the ground, has opened himself up to be a target from these Ungor Raiders, who have him in a pretty dangerous crossfire. So by landing, you know, he's putting himself at risk here, because he's not in the best spot when it comes to angles of fire from the enemy. This Rotting Leviathan looks like it's going to go down to Tim and Jim, the Gorbels, and the Butchers of Kalkengard. And the Beastmen may be pulling this off, because look at this. Luther Harkin, in the effort to eliminate Malagor for good, has just opened himself up to a hell of a lot of firepower. And the Beastmen now are going to be sending the double Gorbel and the remaining Butchers of Kalkengard into combat against the other Rotting Leviathan. There are some polearms nearby, though, which is a dangerous thing to be sure. And, oh, Gorbels should just stay back with the archers. No, run back to the archers. Oh, this is like Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones. I'm worried the Beastmen are about to get their eyes crushed through their head because the Gorbels are being greedy. The Gorbels... Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God. Luther Harkin isn't taking advantage of the opportunity that I think he has right now. And now the Minotaurs, I think, have become aware to the precarious nature of their situation. I think if Luther Harkin dived in there, he could have routed the Butchers of Kalkengard and the Gorbel, and then suddenly this battle would have been lost. But he stayed in the air, and he's continuing to get shot by the Ungor Raiders. And here's no more healing for him to do. He's down to 501 HP, ladies and gentlemen. Gorbel and the Butchers of Kalkengard are now going to have some supporting fire from two Ungor Raiders. I love this. And it looks like they will be able to eliminate the Rotting Leviathan. Alright, Ungor Raiders going to continue firing away at Luther Harkin. Luther Harkin is down to 424 HP. And he was able to finish off that Gorble, which was routing. But at this point, he's so far away from the main engagements that it seems unlikely that he'll be able to return in time or even survive to go reinforce his Rotting Leviathan. This guy is at 308 HP. The Ungor Raiders are firing away and just keeping him at bay. I didn't even mean to rhyme there, but yeah, that's just how poetic and beautiful this battle is. What, oh man. This is an incredible game. Luther Harkin is crumbling now. Rotting Leviathan is crumbling. And I think we have a Beastman victory. Butcher's the Calcum Guard charging in. Here comes the Gorble. Luther Harkin has fallen to the ground dead. And Mr. Krabby Boy here is going to be going down as well. I got anxiety from that battle. It was so close and so awesome. Holy hell. Thank you for the follow, friend. Yeah, I should have gone after... I felt like Luther Harkin had a few moments there where he could have executed and won the battle, but he didn't, and the Beastmen prevailed. But, I mean, that's not to take away from either of these players. That was an incredible game. Holy hell. Yeah. Very focused on Malagor. I think it's because I don't think there was 2 Cygor summons in that game. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think there was just 1. And maybe he was really trying to avoid that from happening. Or prevent that from happening. And yeah, wow. I'm just... Whew. What a great game. That was beautiful. And yes, rare indeed, Random Nicks. Beastmen beating the Vampire Coast. Like I said earlier, yeah, I think it's favored for the Coast, but Beastmen have the tools, and Ungor Raiders are, like, this is a matchup, possibly their best matchup in my opinion. Because the Vampire Coast, just by a rule, doesn't like archers, because archers tend to outrange them, and they can volley fire and just, like, eliminate large numbers of zombies. They also have good infantry against the Vampire Coast infantry, because the Beastmen have an ample supply of just like low tier infantry that can destroy zombies, but also a lot of even their cheap infantry has the hidden trait, so they can stalk around the battlefield. So you have the Ungor Raiders, the Ungor Spearmen, all the Ungor units have that trait, so they can avoid getting shot down by carronades, mortars, Queen Bess, you name it. And the Harpies, also just a nice unit. Like, it's, this to me is like everything you want to bring against the Coast is Beastmen. I'm like really in love with this army, but I'm also partial towards Malagor the Dark Omen, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But Malagor there, I think, really getting a lot of value and showing why he's such a good lord in certain matchups. The Vile Tide especially, just doing a number on top of the Sirens. Yeah. Got DdG Showtime versus DdG Energized, and it's Greenskins versus SKAVEN. A very fun matchup in my opinion. I think the Greenskins do have an edge, but some clever SKAVEN play, anything is possible. I like to go... This is one of those matchups where I like to go both factions and the other faction too, kind of like Empire Chaos, where it's just like I enjoy both sides matchup in this. I guess I just give Greenskins a slight edge because of the chariot play. They have such fast chariots and such cost-efficient chariots that I think this SKAVEN can really struggle with. Anywho, let's go ahead and take a look at the Greenskins. Also, one second. I need to test something. No, that's okay. Sounded a little quiet for me. Anyway, starting with the Greenskins, led by SHOWtime in blue. Gonna have a front line of 4 goblins. And sorry, did I say 4 goblins? I meant 5, because there's one over here too. Also going to have a single unit of Savage Orcs hidden in the forest here, with their choppers ready to go chopping the rats to bits. On the right flank, we're going to have another unit of Savage Orcs. But also further out on the right flank, we're going to have the 8-peak loonies, Unbreakable Night Goblin Fanatics. Now in the back line, I'm sure they'll get deployed, and it looks like they are currently. We had 4 Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Looks like 2 of them are going to be over here, and the other 2 are going to be over on the left flank, supporting all 4 of the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. Now for the leadership, we have a giant River Troll Hag in the forest. Going to have Soul Blight. No, sorry, is that aspect of the Dread Knight? No, Doom and Darkness. Spirit Leech with Mither and the Odor AoE effect. We got a Goblin Big Boss supporting the Arachnarok Queen. They need stabbing on top of him. And then Grom the Paunch with Lucky Banner. The Great Un is here. And Language of the Boys. Boom, eat that thing, bone and all. His little Goblin companion going to run back up on top of the totem. Now, going over to tech out the Skaven army, we're going to 4S. Oh my goodness, Optimus Pine. You slay me. Gwendelius, welcome. Council Guard going to be holding down the center of this Skaven front line. We got Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers and Clan Rats with shields on either flank. We're going to have Clan Rat Spears with shields on either flank as well. And then the back line looks like we're going to have 4 units of Skaven Slave Spears, Clan Rat Spears as well. The River Troll Hag going to overcast a Spirit Leech on top of the Poison Wind Mortars. And this happened to me just the other day too. And Spirit Leeching going to be very effective against the mortars. Helping Abomination, Plague Priest on top of a Plague Furnace, an Assassin, Deathmaster Snitch, and then we're going to have 2 Rat Ogres. The Assassin is going to have Rival Hide Talisman, Assassin's Trophy. We're going to have Deathmaster Snitch with Slippery Deathmaster Sigil, as well as his crazy debuff AoE, which is the Cloak of Shadows. Plague Priest has Pestilent Birth, Vermintide, and that's going to be it. That rounds out our Skaven force, and I think this Skaven army is in trouble. That is my honest opinion. I think SHOWtime has brought an army that is going to be incredibly capable of at punishing this Skaven army. Like, the Skaven army is at an... maybe I'm being too doom and gloom, but this seems very, very, very bad for the Skaven. The Poison Wind Mortars are getting Spirit Leeched. The Greenskins have all of the ranged combat in their favor. I mean, they just have them surrounded. And the Skaven just don't really have anything that's going to be an effective counter. They're going to have to rush out and seek a melee engagement. And it seems like the Greenskins are willing to do that. And I have to say, honestly, the Greenskins, you know, everybody's going to be happy that he's coming out here for the fight. But the only way the Greenskins are going to lose this is if he loses it in a big knockout fight with the Skaven Blob. So I'm very surprised to see the Greenskins coming out right now when they have the ability to just sit back on their laurels in a way and just, you know, fire in with all these units on the peripheries of the battlefield with the missile power. There's just, yeah, so we'll see what happens, but it looks like the Greenskins have decided now they're going to go in for the engagement. And now the Skaven are going to be charging out to return the favor. We have Deathmaster Snitch and the Assassin, both of them going after the Arachnarok Queen, who's going to start running around as a Terror Route kicks in on the Goblins. Council Guard are coming out. Grom the Paunch is in the back line, doing some work. The Greenskin Spider Hatchling Summon has shut down the remaining Poison Wind Mortars, and Looks like, yeah, we're just not going to have any poison wind mortars for the rest of this fight. But this is what I'm talking about, chat. Like, look at all the damage the Greenskins have taken. Forest Goblin Spider Riders, Goblins, Savage Orcs. The Ragnarok Queen has even taken some damage. And even if they win this, I just feel like this has been a very unnecessary risk, considering where the initiative lied. I mean, the 8-peak Loonies taking a ton of damage. So, we'll have to see what happens from here on out, but SKAVEN getting a lot of damage, and now Deathmaster Sigil on top of the Giant Ripper Troll Hag, but Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers and Wolf Rider Archers are going to be diving in, which should allow her a chance to escape. Alright, over here, going to see the 8-peak Loonies eliminated. Goblins there getting eliminated. These goblins coming back into combat, but everybody's getting terror routed. And right now, the Greenskins are fighting against the SKAVEN when they're being supported by Council Guard. This is just, yeah, bad engagements. Really, really bad engagements across the board, but it looks like the Greenskins may still be pulling it off here with the help of these archers on the periphery. They're firing in to help an Abomination with little to no armor. He's going to take a lot of damage from that. But we'll see here. We have a Pestilent Birth going down. SKAVEN diving into combat against the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, supporting their Plague Priest, and you know, with these Plague Monks, they should be able to win that combat over time. Balance of power still in favor of the Greenskins, but you can still see red in there. Still relatively even. And the Hellpit Abomination does have regeneration. And it looks like Deathmaster Snitch and the Assassin are also in good spirits. Spirit Leech going down on top of the Plague Priest, and a Wah has been popped. Terror kicking in on top of these guys. Hellpit Abomination going up against the Ragnarok Queen. Hellpit Abomination has the luxury of regeneration that the Ragnarok Queen does not have. And see what's going to happen from here. But look at that. Deathmaster's Sigil going down on top of the Goblin Big Boss. A summon going down here of Clan Rats. And the SKAVEN are really just pulling down this blob of Greenskins, doing their best to stop them in their tracks so Deathmaster Snitch and the Assassin can finish them off for good. And the Hellpit Abomination being nearby, I think they may be able to pull it off. Right now, look at the Ragnarok Queen. Losing health, losing leadership, not looking good, but balance of power still going more and more towards the Greenskins right now, which I'm kind of having to disagree with. Alright. Looks like Deathmaster Snitch and the Assassin are kind of getting sandwiched between a bunch of spiders. Maybe forced to fight Grom the Paunch, but over here, Plague Priest also taking a ton of damage and not looking too good. Hellpit Abomination coming in here. A terror route right now could really shake things up. We have, oh, Plague Priest is beginning to rout. We have the Ragnarok Spider Queen coming back in to fight. Hellpit Abomination still doing very well. Deathmaster Snitch just delivering the death blow, basically, to the Goblin Big Boss. Rival High Talisman has been popped, too. There goes the Goblin Big Boss. And, yeah, balance power still going very much to the Greenskins. I'm guessing Grom the Paunch and the River Troll Hag just really swinging it in their favor. And Deathmaster Snitch has started to take some serious damage. Council Guard and the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers look like they're getting pulled in over here, though. Once these guys can get regrouped with the SKAVEN Leadership Corps, I think it's going to be a huge boost to their confidence and chances of winning this fight, because the Unbreakable Council Guard just an anchor to any SKAVEN formation. Deathmaster Snitch getting attacked by the Ragnarok Spider Queen. Hellpit Abomination needs to come over here and help out, and it looks like it is. It's going after the Ragnarok Spider Queen now. So Deathmaster Snitch is just fighting against these Goblin Spider Rider Archers. But the Council Guard is coming in. Going to see Deathmaster Sigil popping down there. Got to keep in mind, too, that Deathmaster Sigil as the game wears on, unless memory doesn't serve me correct. Yeah, when he pops that on top of a unit, it also causes an explosion, which can potentially kill a lot of the greenskin infantry in the late game. Council Guard are coming into combat right now. They're only up against goblins, so they should do just fine. But over here, we're going to see that Grom the Paunch and the River Patrol Hag are supporting the goblins. But yeah, the assassin looks like he may be getting a good engagement here now that the goblins are beginning to waver and rout. Deathmaster Snitch needs some backup. I mean, he's winning, but if these Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers would just come over here and get a little rear charge, he would take a lot less damage. And now you have Grom the Paunch coming in. This could be a very bad moment for Deathmaster Snitch as he takes a huge charge from Grom the Paunch. A Spirit Leech going down on top of him too. Help and Abomination is coming in, but look at this. Grom the Paunch may be able to kill off Deathmaster Snitch, but look at that. Grom the Paunch is now suddenly by his lonesome, surrounded by Skaven forces, but Deathmaster Snitch is going to begin his rout. And now the Greenskin Arachnarok Queen is coming over here. And I have to say, the Help and Abomination, everybody on the Skaven force needs to be in combat together right now. The fact that he split up the Council Guard from this Council Guard and the Assassin from Snitch and the Help and Abomination, I think was a game-losing mistake. And right now we're seeing Grom the Paunch and the Greenskins here, led by Showtime, bring themselves right back into the battle. And it looks like they're going to be winning. I mean, the balance of power calling it all along, but I guess myself maybe giving more credit to the Skaven was due. But the Help and Abomination now looks like he's getting close to regrouping with the Council Guard. There's an Assassin that is still alive. And Grom the Paunch not going to want to stay near a Help and Abomination. Help and Abomination has that regeneration too, keep in mind. And, you know, as this battle wears on, it's going to continue replenishing its HP. It has more than half of its HP still to heal. I said that wrong. To heal? Heal? Anyways. Oh, man. I don't know. Balance of power is really favoring the Greenskins a ton right now. And I'm inclined to agree. But the thing is if the Greenskins make a silly mistake and have a chain route go off because the Help and Abomination is able to terrorize all these Forest Goblins, stranger things have happened. And also, even though the Greenskins have a few units regenerating, I think the Help and Abomination regeneration is going to be much more important to this battle anyway. Yeah, Help and Abomination's got to stay with the Council Guard. If they keep on getting split up like this, that's just how this game is over. So, looks like they're getting the memo. Assassin is just sitting inside the Council Guard. Now the Help and Abomination trying to dive in, but Assassin's already wavering and routing. That's going to be a GG. What a back and forth, guys. I feel like I was being a bit harsh on the players, but yeah, something about that game, it just felt like both players were making a lot of mistakes that didn't need to happen. But it was a great game nonetheless, very entertaining, very back and forth, and we're going to see the Greenskins win it in Showtime, going up 2-1. Man, what a great best of 5 final so far. These first 3 matches just absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that was a battle where in the beginning, I think the Greenskins had the fight. Because in the beginning, they just had all of the initiative. They had these archers in the back line just shooting Skaven slaves, which honestly is fine. You know, if you can eliminate Skaven slaves without ever having to engage them, then power to you. I mean, granted, you would rather shoot the Help and Abomination of the Rat Ogres, which I think they did as well. But the point being, the Skaven had nothing to punish that play. As soon as you got rid of the Poison Wind Mortars with Spirit Leeches, then the Skaven were pretty much hamstrung. They had nothing in their arsenal that could effectively counter these 4 ranged missile units. Now, it feels bad doing that, maybe, right? But it's kind of the thing of like, in all's fair in love and war, like if you're going to be fighting against missile cav if you're bringing missile cav in your army and suddenly you find that your opponent has nothing to counter your missile cavalry with, I respect the honor to it, but it made the game a lot closer than it needed to be, in my opinion. I think Grom the Punch diving in and out with his chariot, these guys fulfilling the attacking rule by expending their ammunition, and Spirit Leeches just over time from the giant River Troll Hag, and suddenly this Skaven army is like dead in the water. But instead, like I said towards the beginning, I think he made the one decision that made that game even a toss-up, which is that he decided to go in and have a frontline engagement against the Skaven, even though there was nothing forcing him to do so. But, yeah, and then the Skaven, towards the very end there, just, yeah, the split up of the units, I think, lost him the game, because I do stand by what I was saying towards the end, that if the core leadership had stayed together instead of splitting up into two groups at the end there, the Skaven would have won. And the split I'm referring to is when Deathmaster Snitch and the Plague Priest and the Helpet Abomination were off on one side of the battlefield, and the Assassin and the Council Guard Stormvermin were on another side of the battlefield. Like, the double Assassin is what makes it super deadly, being able to get that, you know, 2v1 combat against like a River Troll Hag. And the Council Guard being around the Plague Priest and the Helpet Abomination stuff is just like vital. And I learned that very much when I was watching Soothsayer versus Falcon. Like, Soothsayer keeping his Council Guard near his leadership nonstop. Like, these guys are bodyguards. They're unbreakable. And it just means when it came to blob engagements, I probably would have given the Skaven that fight, you know, 7 out of 10 times, just because the Council Guard are there with the Helpet Abomination. These guys are never going to rout. This guy will keep on regenerating. And any greenskins that stay in combat too long are going to die to the Assassins. Like, if the River Troll Hag stays there, if the Goblin Big Boss stays there, I mean, you saw what Snitch did to the Goblin Big Boss. It's vicious. It's vicious. He didn't want a boring victory. I get that, and I'm all for it. And that's why I'm saying, like, power to him. The honor level, 12 out of 10. But the effectiveness level, really not close. It's like he could have punished this Skaven army very hard in the initial combat. But hey, I respect it. I'm not trying to say he's a bad player for doing it. He's an honorable player for treating his clanmate with such kindness, but there's really nothing to even force him to waste any units in his army until he was done just spamming his archers and Spirit Leeches. Let's get to it, guys. DdG Showtime, DdG Energized with the Wood Elves and the Lizardmen, respectively. We're going to be seeing a match point right now for Showtime, as he is up 2-1 in this best of 5. Hey, Falcon, thank you so much for the subscription. Oh my goodness, no, it's Biggie Schmalls gifting 54 subs to the channel, everybody. Biggie Schmalls, 54 gifted subs. God bless you, man. That is very, very kind of you, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate the support, bud. It's a filthy tactic. Okay, now let's go ahead and get to the game at hand. So for the Lizardmen in red, let's start with Energized. He's going to have Skink Cohort with Javelins. We're going to have the Legion of Shakwa and another unit of Saurus Spears with Shields. Other than that, we are going to have what appears to be 4 Saurus Warriors with Shields. And then we are going to be covering some missile units here. 2 of them will be Chameleon Skinks with their blowguns on the ground. And then we're going to have 2 Bastiladons with solar engines as well. Over here, we're going to be seeing a Skink Chief on foot and being naked. And then we have a Slann Mage Priest of High Magic. We're going to have Apotheosis, Tempest, Arcane Unforging, Aura of Quetzal, or no, sorry. Yeah, that's the Aura of Quetzal, I believe. And then, what else did you have on top of you? Just the Banishment? Yeah, along with Banishment and Shield of the Old Ones. So, time to cover the enemy army, or sorry, our blue player, the enemy of the Lizardmen in this case. It's going to be Showtime. on his match point. For his front line, we're going to have 5 Eternal Guard with shields. He's going to have 2 Way Watchers, one of them being the Hawkeyes of Drakira, Regiment of Renown. We have ourselves some Wild Riders with shields. Looks like 2 of them on the right flank. And then on the center and left flank, we're going to have a unit of Dryads and another unit of Wild Riders with shields for a total of 3. Now, making sure I'm not missing anything. I think we've got it all. Let's go ahead and check out the leadership. And the leadership will be a Branch Wraith by the looks of it. Branch Wraith going to be coming out of the forest now. He's going to have Earthblood, Scroll of Shielding, and Call of the Wood. We're also going to have Durthu, the Big Papa himself, marching forth into battle. He's going to have the Sword of Daith, Bowseeker, and Transformation of Kadan for that Manticore summon. Way Watcher's going to open fire into the Chameleon Skinks. I hate that. I mean, they'll be able to win with enough shots, but it's just like 40% magic resistance. I just hate to see that. Apotheosis going down on top of the Chameleon Skinks very quickly in order to heal back that damage they just took. Wild Riders diving into the Saurus shields. Spears with shields because they had not had time to brace, and now the Eternal Guard going to hit them from the other side. We're going to see these Wild Riders diving in after the Skink cohort with Javelins. Chameleon Skink shooting them in the flank. And now we're going to see those Wild Riders coming in too. Transformation of Kadan going down. Going to be seeing Feral Manticore summoned. Legion of Shakwa is coming out here to dive into combat against the Wild Riders. But the Way Watchers are firing away at the Salon Mage Priest, but the Legion of Shakwa was popped, ability was popped, so giving him that 44% missile resistance, which is making quite a difference. But when you have a Feral Manticore coming into play, you got to be very, very careful, as it will do tons of damage against the Salon. Lizardmen, looks like these guys are kind of getting away out of formation, away from the battlefield. Wild Riders drawing them out, and they need to be microed back. Get over here. As the Lizardmen army, I think, will be much stronger if they stay together. Over here, Way Watchers continuing to target the Salon Mage Priest of High Magic, but Shield of the Old One's going down there for that 22% ward save, so every little bit counts. Right now, oh man, Legion of Shakwa, somebody needs to help. This damn summoned Manticore really doing a ton of work, but a Banishment going down, and just look at all the damage these Wood Elves are taking. Durthu's still very healthy, Branch Wraith's still very healthy, but you know, a lot of damage going down on the Wood Elf infantry, and it looks like they are getting worn down here. Manticore summon, rampaging, going after the Solar Engine. Salon Mage Priest is routing, and what a close game, guys. If the Salon Mage Priest goes down, I think we're going to see a Wood Elf victory very likely, but even then it's not over yet. You know, the 2 Solar Engines are still on the field. Looks like the Salon Mage Priest may be out no matter how you look at it, because these Wild Riders are going to be coming over here looking for an opportunity. But now the Solar Engines coming over here to start shooting at them. An Apotheosis going down on top of the Salon Mage Priest of High Magic, and oh, would you look at that? A very nice play from Energized, seeing the threat and then moving to neutralize it. Started to heal up a Salon Mage Priest, ran these Solar Engines over here, and just opened fire into those Wild Riders before they could even think about getting on top of the Salon Mage Priest. But oh no, another Manticore summon is down, and another Manticore summon by itself may be enough to finish off the Salon Mage Priest. I don't know if there's anything the Lizardmen can do against that. Solar Engines trying to fire, but it looks like they may have some terrain issues. Oh, just kidding. That one going to get a very clean shot off. Another Apotheosis is going down on top of the Salon Mage Priest. Shield the Shakwa as well for that missile resistance, since the Way Watchers are nearby. But at this point, yeah, the Salon Mage Priest just looks like he's in a precarious position. And you have Durthu over here, who's still okay, and a Branch Wraith. So even though the balance of power is very much saying the Lizardmen got this, I don't know. I think it might be giving too much credit because I do think Dirthu is just going to be so threatening right now. But as I say that, you do have the solar engines. Dirthu has a weakness to fire. So we'll see. It's a very even matchup. Right now, Lizardmen infantry are starting to compromise these Way Watchers, though. And Way Watchers, if they get knocked out, it's a lot of killing power taken out of the Lizardmen hands. But here comes a charge from the Wild Riders, going to buy these Way Watchers some much-needed time. Salon Mage Priest just bit the dust, or the snow in this case. Feral Manticore trying to attack the solar engine. It doesn't do the most damage against its good armor. It has 140 armor, so Mr. Feral Manticore not going to be doing the best. And you got to remember, not only do they have their solar engine damage, they also have these like little attacks of their own. But oh man, look at this! Dirthu taking a ton of damage from the solar engine fire. And oh my god, how did I miss a full health unit of Sora Spears with shields? These Sora Spears on top of Dirthu is just bad news bears, and the solar engines are just going to keep on shooting at them. They have plenty of ammunition to kill them off, and I think that's going to be a GG. Energized going to be bringing it to an ace match, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, boom, and there they go, down for the count. Man, great game. Fifth game, we're tied up. Energized coming back swinging. And that Lizardman army pulling off a nice victory against the Wood Elves. Although the Wood Elves did look very strong for quite a lot of the battle there. Very back and forth. Solar engines leading them to victory, though. And got to give the Chameleon Skinks a ton of credit, too. But also the Saurus Warriors just acting as the anchor, holding the army together, slowly but surely chewing everything down. And, yeah, what a great game. That was, yeah, it looks... I kept on thinking the Wood Elves looked so strong right up until the very end when I was like, oh, never mind. Sora Spears are on top of Dirthu. But great game. And yeah, absolutely. Optimus Pine. Energized managed his solar engines excellently. Exactly. He wasn't shooting into the terrain. He was just like getting value on each one of those shots. So very good observation. All right. Enough distractions. Here we are, guys. It's the ace match. The tiebreaker between Showtime and Energized in this DdG Civil War. Round 5 of their best of 5, and it's going to be Averlorn taking on the Bretonnians. So without further ado, let's check out what these players have brought for us, shall we? Oops, I forgot to turn off my camera, but we're back. There we go. So let's go ahead and start with the High Elves. For the High Elves, we're going to have ourselves Rahagra's Pride, the Regiment of Renown War Lines of Trace. We're also going to be seeing quite a lot of anti-large. We're going to have Spearmen, looks like 2 of them. No, just kidding. 3 and 4 Spearmen. And then we're going to have 3 Silverin Guard. We're going to have 4 Lothran Sea Guard. The Rahagra Pride once again. So nice I had to say it twice. And now we're going to get to the artillery and leadership here. So we have 2 Eagle Call Bolt Throwers. We're also going to have a Mage of Death Magic. Going to have Spirit Leech and nothing else. Hilariel the Radiant, Star of Averlorn. Arcane Conduit, Earthblood. Shieldstone of Isha, Shield of Sapphire. That's going to be it. And then we have a Noble. A Noble is going to have Sacred Incense for that missile resistance for itself and all allies within range. He's going to be riding a steed into battle. Now that will round out this High Elf army. Interesting shit, guys. This is a strange army to me. Maybe I'm just not a good enough High Elf player to see it, but yeah, this is an interesting build and not at all what I expected. Now on the other side of the battlefield, we do have the Bretonnians. Going to be bringing a front line of 5 peasant mob in column formations rather than going wide. We're also going to have a lot of men-at-arms backing them up. So it looks like we have 4 of those men-at-arms. And then we're also going to be seeing 2 spearmen-at-arms. Before we get to the cavalry, let's go ahead and cover the trebuchets on the field. It does look like we're going to have a grand total of 3 of them. And so this this high elf infantry army may suffer quite a bit at the hands of these trebuchets. Now for the cavalry, we have Grail Knights, 1 and 2 of them. And then we're also going to have a single unit of questing knights out here on the right flank. And did I say a single unit? I meant 2 units. The companions of Quenelle are also going to be on the field of battle. Now for the heroes, it looks like we are just going to have a single paladin bringing a barded steed into the field of battle. He is going to have Guardian on top of himself. And then we have the Fey Enchantress. Fey Enchantress will be bringing the Chalice of Potions, Favor of the Fey, Arcane Conduit, Regrowth, Earthblood, Mist of the Lady, and Life Bloom. Thank you, Bretonia. I'm just going to update the faction banners real quick. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. And we're back just in time to see the trebuchets fly into the high elf formations. So far, the high elves look like they've been lucky to avoid most of the incoming boulders. This is one of those moments where I might just recommend sending up the Eagle Claw bolt throwers and letting your infantry sit this out safely in the rear. Yeah, this high elf army, I'm very worried for it. I just think the Bretonians here with this cavalry advantage, like, even though all this infantry the high elves have is anti-large, it's like, will it be able to eliminate this much heavy cavalry? Especially when there's trebuchets on the field just hucking rocks into them. Looks like the Eagle Claw bolt throwers are in range. They're going to begin firing into the felled trebuchets. Eagle Claw bolt throwers are notoriously great at sniping down artillery pieces. Eagle Claw bolt throwers are going to continue targeting the various high elf infantry units. Looks like the Lothland Sea Guard are going to get a taste of the rock medicine now. But Eagle Claw bolt throwers, with enough time, should be able to eliminate these trebuchets. One of them is down to 2 models now. We'll see if this next volley from the Eagle Claw bolt throwers can shut down any of these artillery models. Yep, there goes one more. So right now, High Elves have eliminated 2 trebuchets from the field of battle. And the Bretonians, I think, on that note, are actually going to go ahead and advance, deciding that if they lose that, they're probably going to lose that in the long run to the Eagle Claw bolt throwers, so they might as well close the gap so the Eagle Claw bolt throwers don't get a chance to just shoot down all the Bretonian infantry and cavalry while they approach. Fey Enchantress is going to dive into the Spearmen. And the Bretonians are in it. Going to see the Peasant Mob closing the gap, getting ready to dive into all the the High Elf infantry. Rahagara's Pride is coming out to play right now. It looks like we're going to see a Spirit Leech going down on top of the Companions of Quenelle. And Rahagara's Pride running in, Earthblood going down, the Noble diving into the fight. And curious to see, it looks like the Bretonian Cavalry here, the Companions of Quenelle, are taking some significant damage. And Spearmen, I mean, they're just taking a charge from the Grail Knights, but the Grail Knights bonus is going to be charge bonus isn't being negated because the Spearmen here obviously have that charge defense versus large. Rahagara's Pride using their Mighty Roar, debuffing leadership and speed of all of the Bretonian units nearby. And it looks like Companion of Quenelle may be going down for the count here. And that's going to be a painful thing for the Bretonians to suffer so early into this match. Right now, though, Bretonians are starting to pressure the flanks. You can see Lothland Sea Guard getting eliminated by the Grail Knights, but now Spearmen are coming into support. And right now, looks like the Spearmen and Silver and Guard are holding the front line just fine. Silver and Guard, an absolute wonderful unit to just completely crush all of this peasant infantry. They won't stand a chance. Silver and Guard defense is just too high. Their armor's too high. They're just a really nice pick here, and they add that magic resistance too to help against the Bretonnian Grail Knights. Over here, you're going to see the High Elf Infantry pushing out. The Bandits of Connell continuing to get Spirit Leeched. And back here, Grail Knights getting dragged down right now. They're shaken. Rahagra's Pride in combat with them, so as they try to retreat, these armor-piercing lions are going to continue just tearing chunks out of their ranks. This is looking good for the High Elves. This is this is a crazy build, but I mean, the High Elves have just kind of run right into it, and the Silver and Guard, no problem whatsoever in this front line, just preventing the men-at-arms and the peasant mob from breaking through. And really, that front line just holding together so well means all of the Bretonnian infantry is just tied up on an unwinnable frontline engagement, and all of the Bretonnian cavalry in the back line has been getting dragged down by the spearmen plus the Rahagra's Pride. And, you know, Rahagra's Pride is kind of the linchpin, in my opinion, to this High Elf army, because that plus the Spirit Leech is really the killing power. Rahagra's Pride diving in to support all the spearmen in their combat against the Bretonnian cavalry has really been what's dragging the the Bretonnian cavalry down. Because whenever they turn around to run, Rahagra's Pride is just hitting them in the back with that big armor-piercing damage. Paladin taking out a lot of health from the Noble here. The Noble's actually running away right now. But the Spearmen are getting tied down. The Spearmen at Arms are getting dragged down by the High Elf Spearmen and the Lothran Sea Guard. And, I mean, balance of power very much in favor of the High Elves. But right now, Chalice of Potions being used. Hit the Silver and Guard, did a lot of damage. But it doesn't look like it was a direct hit, so the Silver and Guard are going to be able to live and fight another day. Over here, the entire Bretonnian front line is routing from the Silver and Guard. One of these units still above half health. Rahagra's Pride diving here into the back of these men-at-arms. And suddenly, Energized is looking like he's in a bad, bad spot, guys. The Trebuchets are still firing away, should note. But there go the Grail Knights. And now the Bretonnians are just really at a deficit here, guys. We have the Mage of Death trying to get assassinated by the Companions of Quenelle plus the Fey Enchantress, but a lot of High Elf Spearmen and Silver and Guard are now coming into range to support. Alariel the Radiant is still alive and well. The Noble is still alive and kicking. He's taking some damage, but he's still relatively, you know, he's still in the game. He's not out of this yet. And the balance of power is just continuing to go further and further to the High Elves. Over here, Fey Enchantress hitting that Noble. The Noble taking a ton of damage, and ouch. Fey Enchantress is not kidding around. She is just going to take this Noble out herself. Paladin finally showing up, but Fey Enchantress had already taken care of it herself. Alright, over here, Bretonnian infantry blobbing up and getting shot by the Lothran Sea Guard and punished very hard as a result. Spearmen here holding their ground just fine, and the peasant infantry is just running out. They're completely outclassed by the Spearmen, and in particular, the Silver and Guard. We do have the Trebuchets continuing to fire away, though, and those Trebuchets, we'll see what they can get done. It looks like there's only one crew that has any models left. The other crews have a lot of ammo, though, so if they came over here and maybe mounted this failed Trebuchet when this one are out of ammunition, but seeming like a tall task at this point. The Bretonnians are just crashing feebly against this infantry from the High Elf army, and who would have thunk an all-infantry army would be doing so well against the Bretonnians right now? Showtime just bringing a very interesting army that I was really worried about, honestly, and it's working out. This is crazy. Yeah, Star of Avalorn going down over here. Healing up Alariel the Radiant and the Mage of Death. Paladin is stuck in combat. Faye Enchantress is diving in, and now she's going to be stuck in combat. Man, can you imagine if she just had a big fat Dwellers below right now? You can't really predict an all-infantry high elf build. There they go. More Silver and Guard diving in. Rahagra's Pride has been peeled off and is eliminated the remaining Trebuchet crew. The rest of the Bretonnians are scattered to the wind, and now the Paladin is routing, and it looks like he's about to die off. Faye Enchantress versus Alariel the Radiant. Gonna fight for the ages. I like Pie, thank you so much for the subscription. And yeah, 4 is the lady indeed, but unfortunately I think the lady's not going to be seeing her noble knights come home tonight. Faye Enchantress still doing a ton of damage with that AoE damage over time, but she's about to get surrounded by a bunch of unfriendly forces. Man, oh man, do I hate the blood effects in this game. I love it on the charge, but in the late game it just ruins all of the paint jobs. High Elves are just down up here waiting. Faye Enchantress is trying to fight her way through. She's still sucking the life out of everybody with that Mortis-like effect from the Mist of the Lady. But it does look like the High Elves are going to come out on top. And as this battle winds down, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank the players for being awesome and for showing up and bringing us some excellent content. I want to thank my admins for helping me out behind the scenes, taking care and helping make these tournaments go smoothly. So, you can turn the blood effects off. I need to probably eventually. It's like, I like them when like there's a big charge from like a monster and there's explosion of viscera, but yeah, when it comes to like just looking at the models over time, they start looking uglier and uglier. But yeah, Lariel just doing some nasty work there with the help of her infantry. And yes, I believe she did have it on there. I like by Wicked Science. Her commiserations for Energized. Yeah, right. Of course, Optimus Pine. It's my pleasure to be here. But yeah, you guys take care of yourself. These were some awesome games. I want to thank all of you for showing up. And Falcon, I'm sure you were in there, and I'm sure you were just happy at the quality of these games. All very fighty games, and I hope all of you appreciated how fighty these games were. But on that note, everyone, I am going to be getting out of here, run some errands, do some things, take care of the kid. But yeah, give some love to these two players, and a huge shout out and congratulations to Showtime for winning the 3rd tournament of Season 7 against his clanmate Energized in a very close, very nicely played best of 5. But everyone, take care of yourselves. My son HW going to be signing out from here, and until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.